Hello, my name is Yiming Shi, and I am an animation master student in UK. In my life, my friends who are just the audience, they usually ask me, "Hi, Yiming, why are you choose animation and why are you choose 2D animation?" Yeah, I'm a 2D animator. Today, the topic of my essay is what is the difference between 2D and 3D animation in many ways? During my time of bachelor, I still watched so many Japanese animation, and my favorite animator is Satoshi Kon. He is good at using shots to link lots of totally different environments. It's usually 2D animation. Although at the same time, I watched Pixar and Disney, I still choose to become a 2D animator. Because for me, the draw by hand purpose more different meanings than 3D. And for this essay, I will divide my article into 3 parts: economic, technical, and culture. From the theme of economy, in the eyes of most of people, it seems that the cost of producing 2D animation is much lower than that of 3D animation. Because in their minds, thinking of 3D animations, it seems that it is easy to think of Harry Potter, Pixar, and Disney. These are particularly powerful images. 1 second renders for dozens of hours. The huge amount of manpower and time needed will cost a lot of money. However, the level and cost of animation cannot be directly explained by standardization. Since the focus of animation is the motion is the essence. If you want to make high-quality animation, you will not be able to save costs in the respect. Whether it's 3D or 2D, many people need to be held to adjust their actions to perfection. This is a huge cost, but the difference between two is there. For a 3D work, the 2D action has to draw frame by frame, but for 3D, it can use computers to automate quite a bit of intermediate framework. This saves a lot of time and effort compared to 2D animation. The software on computers that can assist those processes is still quite a lot. So, we can see that today, there are many people who publish 3D animation on the internet. You can find some software similar to Flash to do this, because of the convenience and low cost. In some Japanese animations, the producers save the cost of some seasons is also often converted to 3D in a 2D animation. Compared with 2D, the workload of 3D will save energy and costs. But this doesn't mean that all 3D is cheaper than 2D. Because we are finding that there are a lot of 3D characters on the network to make animations, the level is not balanced or most of them are relatively poor. And the animation produced by Pixar and Disney, most of them are very delicate and beautiful, so they cannot be generalized. So, in the summary, in high-quality animation work, the cost of 3D is higher than 2D. But in the low-level animation work, 3D can help the producers save costs better than 2D. For the second part, we will discuss the difference between 2D and 3D in technology. As we all know, Most 2D animations are adapted from novels or cartoons, and they are created by key animator. The keyframe, drawing, cleanup, and coloring are repeated every time. But from the current animation, many characters that spend too much time and laborious animated characters sitting too much lines have exceeded the limits of hand painting. In fact, 3D details are easier to do than 2D. 2D details rely on artists to paint frame by frame. However, many 3D actions currently use motion capture technology. Although not all 3D works use motion capture, technology shots still require modeling. But with the support of this technology, some action details can exist directly and then rendered. So someone said, why do you insist on 2D? 2D is tired, expensive, and there is no actual effect compared with 3D animation. Especially in action-oriented shots, you can imagine the workload of 2D animators. In the case of Attacking the Titan, in previous years, the 3D mobile device in the animation allowed the protagonist and others to perform various flipping actions in a complex geographical environment. This type of shooting is very difficult for hand painting. On the other hand, the combination of 3D and 2D is also very popular. After 3D production is rendered as a 2D animation style, and the picture looks very refined. As I mentioned before, in the current environment, 2D is mainly supplemented by 3D. This has been adopted by more and more Japanese animation. It can also use 3D to perceive the advantage of Japanese traditional 12-frame 2D animation. Therefore, in my opinion, the convenience brought by the current 3D technology is difficult to achieve in 2D animation. I also invited an 2D animator, and I invited her to discuss with me about the impact of 3D technology on 2D animation in the past 2 years, and I will ask her view about the policy of government on animation industry.
The first question is, I don't know the special effect industry. What is the influence for the traditional animation?
Okay, this is the most asked question. I've got this question a lot. I feel like for me it's just inevitable change. You know, everything goes in and out of style. For 2D and 3D, I mean, I love 2D. I grew up on it. We stand on the shoulders of these guys who created all those amazing 2D animations like Cinderella, like Pinocchio, stuff like that. Yes, now, you know, the recent advance in computer science have turned the lives of many animators upside down. Some of them have been able to adapt and thrive. Unfortunately, at the same time, many others have gone out of business. For example, I mean, 3 or 4 years ago, I started realize that in betweening and cleanup, they're just on their way out of business. So I just stopped teaching those two parts in my class because I feel like there is no need for me to teach that. Yes, because of right now the CG crew is just a smaller crew. Like you don't need that many people. So obviously, they need to let go of some of the animators. So it is, 3D and CG had huge impact on 2D, traditional 2D. I don't know what you mean by saying traditional 2D or just 2D animation. So that's my point. Yeah, like we've talked about this a lot. The government invests much more money on animation industry. Every TV station, they provide certain amount of minutes, certain amount of time to animation, only for Chinese animation. I think this is good. But in my opinion, the most important thing is the government really encourage the creativity of work, like we so-called original animated movie, right? So the originality, it is the key for Chinese government, because like the traditional Chinese animation is kind of had a huge impact, right? But as time goes on, it kind of it's just kind of fell apart. I mean, the originality is really important. The creativity is also, it's just very important for all the animators in China, and the government really emphasize on this aspect. So I feel that's really good. Yeah.
Some audience fear that 3D animation may replace 2D animation. From my perspective, first of all, we define the word replacement, which is a commercial alternative. This is possible, most widely accepted, and most perfectible. Things often have a relatively fixed style, a relatively fixed pattern. I can only say that for a period of time, 3D animation will become the mainstream of the animated film market, but 2D animation cannot disappear, not because of commercial advantages, however, because of artistic advantages. It's mainly because 2D animation has the advantage that 3D animation cannot be replaced in artistic expression. It's like a blockbuster movie of great commercial value every year, such as Marvel, but will the literary film disappear? As long as the audience is there, one there will never disappear.